Roundabout and roundabout and roundabout we go, said Hare, looking dismally about him. It's the third time we have passed that hill. Nonsense, said Crawler. In this district all hills look alike. Not ones with a hanging rock like that, said Hare. You must be the worst map reader I have ever met, he said, severely to Crawler. Where are we now? Said Crawler, who had the map upside down. No such place, said Hare. Said Crawler. That's not on the map either. Give it to me. Look, we must be here near the Limpopo, and he stabbed his finger vaguely at the map. Bah, useless. There's no sign of a river. We will have to make camp with that old tree over there. I can't keep travelling in circles, said Hare, mopping his brow with his sleeve. We shall have to call it a day. The engine is starting to boil. So am I, sighed Crawler. Where is the water bag? Crawler handed it to Hare, who found that the stopper was half open and most of their water had leaked out. They shook it hopefully, but it remained silent. No swish or splash to gladden hearts, exhausted by the heat. Well, that settles the matter. Out we get. Make for that tree over there, while I park the car out of sight. That's not a tree, said Crawler. It's a giant turnip. That is the famous baobab, a tree almost as old as the great redwoods of America. That one over there could be 4,200 years old, said Hare respectfully. I have a great respect for old age, but that is ridiculous, said Crawler, screwing up his face in disbelief. Please yourself, said Hare, who was feeling the strain of the journey. He must be somewhere near Devil's Kloof on this map, said Hare with a worried air. Crawler mopped his brow. I'd give anything for an ice-cold beer and a ham sandwich. You are going to earn your keep, dear boy, said Hare, removing their simple camping equipment from the boot of the car. You can start by putting up the tent and gathering firewood, while I search for water to make a decent pot of coffee. The corners of Crawler's mouth dropped. I'd sooner look for water, he said. You will do as you are told, said Hare, pointing in the direction Crawler was to take. He picked up the empty water carrier and set off towards some green bushes in the distance. Meet you back at the tree with everything done, he said. Crawler didn't like to tell Hare that he had never been camping before, and tents were a mystery so far as he was concerned. Can't we sleep under the stars, he called after Hare. It wouldn't be wise with baboons around, Hare replied. Don't get eaten by a lion, called Crawler after his departing figure. He had forgotten about lions. They were quite close to lion country, but he felt sure they would not stoop to eat a mere toad, even an operatic toad. It was while he was knocking in the last peg that he felt someone was breathing down his neck. He froze. Mamma mia, said a gruff voice behind him. You call this a tent? Is a very triste, or a crooked, I should know. Oh dear, thought Crawler, an Italian in the wilderness. There was no getting away from fellow tourists. They turned up everywhere, and he turned slowly around to come face to face with a large, grinning lion. He uttered a stifled cry, expecting the majestic jaws to close upon his abject form. I no eat de frogs, said the lion with distaste, seeming to read his mind. Roman lions eat only the best steak, no? I'm no frog, sir, said Crawler, gaining courage. I'm an operatic toad. Crawler's my name. La Scala, 1972. I no sing either, said the lion. I am from the circus, yes? Roma, Milano, Napoli, all Italy come to see me. Big top, big time, no? And he made a wide gesture with his paws. I here in Africa find my beginning, no, yes? Very good. And he shook Crawler by the hand until the poor toad had to beg him to stop. A friend of mine called Hare has come to Africa to find his relations. Odd. I always try to avoid mine. They are so dull. I move in more interesting circles. We artists demand more of life, said Crawler, waving his arms about in a theatrical manner. Poor Hare has gone looking for water. I look too, but I no find. Hyena said, I look for big tree, plenty water. No trust a hyena. The big brute yawned widely and flopped down. He stretched out in the sun. Siesta, he said, and was soon fast asleep. Crawler was very relieved to see two ears he knew coming into view behind the stony outcrop. Sorry, said Hare, no water, therefore no hot water, therefore no coffee either. Ooh, gasped Crawler, clasping his parched throat. My precious throat, my voice, my precious voice, it will never be the same again. That might be a blessing in disguise, sighed Hare wearily. Then he noticed the other bedroll. Only it wasn't a bedroll. It was a rolled-up lion, fast asleep. What is he doing here? He asked Crawler. He appears to be looking for his roots. He has come to trace his family history here in Africa. He is an Italian circus lion. Has he a flask of water with him? No, cried Crawler. They were quite disconsolate and sat down on a large root, gazing at the mysterious tree. Water, water, sobbed Crawler. Ask Abba, said a cool, small voice above them. They both looked up and squinted into the smooth, shiny green leaves. Over here, said the voice. Can't see a thing, muttered Crawler. You're not supposed to, said the voice, because I'm very good at it. Good at what? Shouted Crawler. Getting lost, said the voice, and a small green hand teetered over Hare's long, upright ear. It's a chameleon, sighed Crawler. I see you like to tease. I've a good mind to put you down on my Campbell tartan scarf. That would confuse you. No, no, he begged. It would make me very, very queasy. Yes, indeed. Well, perhaps I won't, as I'm a kind sort of chap in need of a long drink. What was your suggestion? Who is Abba, and where can we find him? Asked Crawler more kindly. He'll be coming by presently. These are the ashes of his fire between these roots, said the strange creature. Well, I never. I'm glad to see that there are others about, said Hare. Others? There are more others than I can count, said Chameleon. This tree is a crossroads. I suggest we take a nap until he arrives. I am quite exhausted in this heat. Goodbye, Mr. Chameleon, said Hare, and they both crawled into the small tent and were soon sound asleep. Strangers? Asked the Hornbill, flying in to feed her young ones. Yes, said Chameleon, quite friendly too. Abba will be pleased. He does like to entertain, and his stories and songs keep us all amused. And he caught another fly with a hesitant sway and a deadly, sticky, and entirely accurate tongue. Everything comes to me if I sit patiently, he told the envious bird. The woodpecker alighted beside him, and he moved swiftly for a chameleon out of range. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat, he hammered until their heads rang. Stop, cried the hornbill. At least allow me to fly off before you start on the maracas. I've had a headache all day, and Junior 1 and 2 make loud demands on me all the time. She poked another frog into the small hole left in the wall of mud which separated her young ones from the outside world. At least I can count, said the woodpecker, not like those noisy herons who can only count to 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, over and over again. It's so very boring, rat-a-tat-tat. What a rude bird, shrilled the heron. I heard that. 1, 2, 3, make a cup of tea. 4, shouted the woodpecker, and they set to quarrelling like hammer and tongs until their argumentative tones were lost over the horizon. Peace at last, said the hornbill. As I was saying, but the chameleon had also vanished, and the hot afternoon sunshine made her drowsy, and she slept, her head tucked into the breast feathers, her large beak snapping as she chased some long-legged frog across a reed bed in her dreams.